pacemakers for this setting a new record. His job, supposing there is a 400-meter race, the pacemaker's job is to set a pace for the first 200 meters, then he drops out of the race, so that the other guy has a faster pace in order to hit the record. Similarly, if you practice with somebody else, you have this exchange going already, so that you are ready when the real stuff takes place. You are ready to handle the situation easily. This half-hour swaram is probably more challenging because you have a limited time space and you have to be non-repetitive as far as possible. You have to be more creative. So that is when you start singing more and more differently, more creatively, and you develop your own creative sense as well, so that you can sing differently every time. And practicing with somebody gives you the advantage of reacting to the situation faster, quicker, and getting to the landing point faster. Well, come to the last portion. Of course, in these Kalpana Swaras you have the other aspects like the Korappu, and you have this Kadakku, the Korvai, etc. Some of which is rehearsed, most of which is rehearsed. Some artists, of course, do spontaneously create and play or sing on stage. We have seen that in so many concerts. And because it is rehearsed, I will not dwell on it much and stick to the Manodharma portion only. But the Korappu itself is a very nice thing. Of course, there are two ways of Korappus, because you have this Mishra Korappu, Kanda Korappu, which was actually more borrowed from the Mridangam Tamil traditions than in the vocal traditions. I don't think the concept of Swara singing itself is fairly recent, maybe about 100 to 150 years at the most. I don't think Kalpana Swara singing as a concept existed much earlier. And because of Kalpana Swaras, what has happened is a lot of reorientation has taken place in the entire musical concert performing traditions. And today the Kalpana Swara singing has been extended to include so many things. And it's really grown, expanded. It's really the way the music has evolved that is so exciting and wonderful, because we can see how they were singing Swaras 50 years back. You know how they are singing Swaras today. What was considered the most difficult and challenging part 50 years ago is child's play for children today. The way they are able to sing Korappu, the way they are able to sing Korves is like so easy. 15 years back I had trouble landing on Vata Vikadamathim. I know it. Whereas today kids are just able to do this within flash of a second. So it's a beautiful thing that certain things which were difficult have become much more easier. And it will grow. I mean, so many more things are bound to come in. A lot of things are getting very complicated. Since the rhythmic angle of Kalpana Swaras is very, very complicated, complex. Changes in Nadai, Korappu, all these things are quite prevalent in modern day. Coming to Pallavi, finally, of course. This is supposed to be the crowning piece in a concert, Nagantana Pallavi, at least traditionally. Musicians have shown that you don't need a Pallavi to do what you are doing in a Pallavi. Most elements of the Pallavi are already available in the Raga, in the Kalpana Swara, in the Neravel. So do you need a separate Pallavi is always a question that has been asked, that has been posed, and musicians have constantly proved that for creative expression it is not absolutely necessary to sing a Pallavi. But then again the Pallavi is much less composed and much more creative by its nature, but by practice it has become as much composed as a Kriti in modern time. Because what happens, as the complexity increases, you want to be sure of yourself. You don't want to go there and goof up. So the more and more you want to be sure of a lot of things, the more and more you start rehearsing, and the more and more you start practicing, and the more and more you deliver stuff which are actually rehearsed. So with the result that the actual spontaneous element of output would be much less than what it is perceived as. These are certain things which I should not be telling you, but it's like after dinner speakers quoting off the cuff. What is off the cuff? You write something on the cuff and then read it off the cuff. It doesn't mean it's something spontaneous. I mean, you quote a joke, there are after dinner speakers. See, the off-the-cuff remark is supposed to be a spontaneous remark. It is not. Why is it off the cuff? Because the cuff of the sleeve of the shirt gives you space to write down something which is covered by the coat. So when a speaker, when he is speaking, actually just moves the coat, looks at the cuff, and then refers to it and tells the joke. I don't have any notes here. But what happens, see, that's what it means. So most of it is actually practiced, rehearsed, and then delivered. But the delivery itself makes it so spontaneous. That's the beauty of it, because some of it cannot be, everything cannot be rehearsed. Or how much ever you rehearse, only so much will come out. To run 100 meters, you can't run 100 meters every day. You have to run a longer distance and get endurance to be able to perform for this 100 meters. Similarly, to sing a 10-minute alapana, you can't sing 10-minute alapanas every day. You have to sing much longer. You have to know, you should be able to sing for 1.5 hours. Only then your 10-minute delivery or output would be good. And of course, this 10-minute output is taken from what you have sung at home. But then it's the choice of phrases, the relation, the formation in which these phrases are delivered will always change from concert to concert, from situation to situation. Coming to the Pallavi again, it is only the Neraval, Ragam, Tanam and Kalpanaswaram which all comes together in the Pallavi. And because the Pallavi is a single line, it's not a composed piece in the strict sense. Yes, you have a basic line which is fixed in the Pallavi, and that line is constant. But then after that, it's all Neraval. Unlike a Kirtana where there are Sangatis which are set in us. In the Pallavi there are no Sangatis. The Sangatis are all just sung in the same way as you would normally sing Neraval in a composition. It's no different. But what is it that makes the Pallavi more special? Because you are supposed to be completely unrestrained by any form of composed music. There is no composing. Which means that today you give a set of words, a talam and a ragam. A Pallavi can be composed on the spot and sung. There are musicians, there are people who can even do it. So you have these constant poetry contests. Tamil lala. Or theme solluvar. உடனே ஒரு கவிஞர் அது ஒரு 4 வரி அப்படியே பாட்டு போடுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி வந்து மியூசிக்ல it is possible, but that's not that widespread like in poetry. Poetry, the challenge is in composing on the spot. Whereas in music, it is singing on spot that is the challenge. So ultimately you have to sing. So adana the words or the composition of the Pallavi itself is secondary, whereas it's the Neraval, the Swaram and the elaboration of the raga and how the raga is handled for the period of the Pallavi. That is more important. In the olden days, Pallavis normally were sung mostly only in the heavier ragas, which itself goes to show. Probably that is why these ragas were used for compositions as well. Todi Kalyan, Todi le 27 paattu potarna ellarum Todi paadirka athana. There has been so much of Todi in the air that it has inspired a composer like Tyagaraja to compose so many songs in Todi. Which is why he sang only one song in Chenju Kampani. If Chenju Kampani had been a widespread raga, he would have composed 23 songs. He did not. Nor did other composers use Chenju Kampani for composition. Shivan composed another 25 songs only in Todi. Papana Samshina. So it's that these big ragas offer the scope for elaboration, and musicians also chose them frequently for elaborating the ragam Pallavi. Of course, there is this Trikalam, Anulomam, Pratilomam, etc. aspects of Pallavi singing, which are again not exactly spontaneous. There is a logic to it, and it is performed with that particular logic. For instance, the common usage in Trikalam is you set the Pallavi and then render it in 3 speeds. In those days, Pallavis were rendered in 4 kada, 4 kada, 4 kada Pallavi. I'll just sing a small one per 4 kada Pallavi to illustrate. ആനന്ദനടനം ആ